Hi, I'm Maria Kinnun. This
And
is
I'm
Dan
Dan.
Morris. Oh, sorry.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Hi, I'm Dan Morris.
I'm Maria Kinnun.
What's up, everyone? Screen Smash Spotlight coming at you now. This is where we interview super cool people from within the gaming world. Our guest tonight is actually someone that you might have seen his work before. It's probably one of the first things you see when it comes to a game, and you might actually be a fan.
I was actually really excited about this interview. I've known this sketch for a couple of years now, and he's actually worked on one of my most favorite games in the world. And now it's time for the interview.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to a Screen Smash interview. My guest today crafts video game trailers for Devolver Digital. Before joining their team, he ran his own shop, doing the trailers for over 100 other indie games, including What the Gulf, Slay the Spire, and Risk of Rain. He lives in Pennsylvania with his wife, 2 kids, a dog, and a fish. You can usually find him gushing profusely about whatever indie game or comic he's currently obsessed with. Say hello to Mr. M. Joshua Cauller. Hello, Joshua.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me.
Josh.
Well, Mr. Josh, you, sir, are a video game trailer maker, yes?
Yeah. I would say it's one of those things where you go back and forth all the time on, because it's like you're like do I just call myself an editor? Do I say that I like make trailers?
Yeah, is there an official title?
Well, there was. I actually started my business with the title M. Joshua Makes Trailers, and I realized somewhere along the lines, as I like did a lot of like much heavier collaborations, that I was like, I don't feel like I made this. Like all the content is so much of a collaboration with other people that it's like, and of course of someone else's game. So it's kind of like, like this is, I don't know that I fully feel like I made it as much as I like cut it into being, or like I've trimmed off all the other fat, so that like this is just the substance in the middle,
Cool.
Like a sculptor or something. Yeah.
What got you started making game trailers, or is that something you've always wanted to do since you were a little boy?
Yeah, actually, when I was 9 years old, I played Mega Man 2 for the first time, and I was like, I want to make games like this in the future. I want to make awesome Mega Man like games. That was like all that, and I would just draw profusely, like just creating characters for games, and like I didn't quite get to the actual like game design part of it, but I was just like obsessed with characters and games. And I did really bad in high school. I did really bad at school. So I kind of like was like, all right, well maybe I'm not going to go to like game design school because I'm terrible at school. Also, what else do I want to do? And somewhere in the middle of school, the 2 classes that I did excel at were graphic arts and video. And so I always had like the foundation of graphic arts and video, and I went into an art school in college, just a small trade school, did the short little 18-month thing. And then I floundered in the ad and creative space for a good like 15 years. Like, what am I doing? Why am I not employed again? It's kind of like the struggling artist experience. But I'm not to say that I didn't, I didn't have good jobs and I didn't get paid, but it was like, I was never creating anything that I really, really wanted. And then when I got unemployed for like the nth time, I was like, what do I really want to be when I grow up? And I looked again and I was like, I don't actually, I realized
Story of my life.
somewhere in the midst of those. Yeah. I realized somewhere in the midst of that floundering and chaos and like, what do I want to be when I grow up and all of that I just I didn't want to make video games. That was the hardest realization. So I always thought like, one day I'm going to make a video game. One day I'm going to make a video game. And then I realized I just wanted to have made a video game. And the nice thing about trailers is that someone's already done all the actual work of making a game. And I saw there was this guy who's doing it, man. He figured out how to do this. And his name was Kurt Gartner. And he had a website where he said that he was an indie game, that he made trailers for indie games. And I was like, I want to do that. And it just so happened, I mean, like, of course, it was like, all right, I'm going to go do that now. But it was also like I had all of the, the hard work of floundering as an artist and all the years of training and all the technical know-how of how to do all those things. But it was like, all right, now I know this is where I want to focus my energy. and yeah, and it was just a matter of like, all right, well, I have some of the connections. I'm doing very similar to what you guys are doing, which is just like I'd been writing and I had been interviewing game developers and I had done podcasts, and I was just like, all right, I'm going to pool these resources, and I'm going to say to like a couple folks, all right, I want to make a trailer for your game. You don't have to pay me, but I'm going to make a trailer for your game. I want you to give me all the assets so I can like figure out how to put it together. And I thought I was going to need to do that a lot. Like I thought it was going to take a lot of time. I thought that I was going to need to like, I don't know. I thought it was going to be exhausting, and then and it was, but it also like came completely together in just 2 times. I just did that 2 times with 2 game developers, and then after that, I've had everyone pay for a trailer since then.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
That's
impressive.
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is impressive.
I wish I could say the same thing.
well, it's something that takes it's something that once you figure out like exactly what that you need money. I thought it was a lot of money, but it was a vastly underpaid, like for the amount of labor, the amount of time. It wasn't appropriate, but it was like enough to get a good start. And I was able to still try a couple ideas and what I thought was going to make trailer special. And that was the other thing, is that I had the assumption, because I had lots of ad agency background by then, that I knew that like unless you have a special branding, unless you have like a special sauce of what you do better than anyone else, whether that's true or not, but you try to do it better than anyone else, that's what's going to keep you around. And for me, that was player centrality. Is like when you watch a trailer, most people are like, their question is, what is the game like what is the game as a product? And for me, I was like, no, like, what's the experience feel like? Like, if you can't get straight out of the gate and like communicate what the game's experience is like, if you're just going like 30 seconds of just like pure story, unless your game isn't entirely about story, that shouldn't be your focus. I want to know what the game feels like. And if you can, like, I call it the Power Ranger effect. Like, if you can make people feel like they know karate, it doesn't matter how much they actually know, as long as they can feel like, I know what it's like to punch somebody. That's kind of like my takeaways. Like, that's why sound effects are so important to me in trailers. Like, if you have like a good hitting of things in a trailer, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's a good game."
love that.
I'm gonna feel like I can hit things.
I love that analogy, the Power Ranger effect, because it's like, that explains why I like the Power Rangers.
Right. I mean, that kind of bleeds into our next question of like, how do you choose what goes into a trailer? Like,
Sure.
do they give you an idea of like what are they looking for? How do they want their game presented? How do you look at it and go, this is how I want to make this trailer?
Yeah, I mean, like, I usually ask that as like the third question, is like, what are your actual goals for the trailer? Like, for me, the very, very first thing is, let me play it. Like, that's what, like, like I said, like, I'm player experience first. So like, give me the game, and if I don't like playing the game, I'm not going to make a trailer for it, because it's going to be miserable. I'm not going to enjoy the experience. When I first was starting out, I asked Kurt, I was like, hey, how do you make trailers for games that you don't like? And he's like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
right?
that was a big part of my thinking too when we were reaching out to you, and I'm like, I wonder if he plays or does trailers for games he doesn't like, because I feel like that would be A, miserable, and B, you would not make a good trailer out of it.
Right. And that's sort of the thing, is like, I have to feel the game in my bones. If I don't feel the game in my bones, and I don't feel like the actual like tactile qualities of it with my hands, like it's
You're not going to sing the praises of that game.
yeah. Oh, I'm not going to be able to sing the praises, and you as the viewer are not going to be able to have the emotional. That's the joy of making anything, is having the emotional exchange from one person to the other. Like we're in a stage in existence where media is so complicated. Even like taking like the media of like news and journalism and all those things, and whatever someone thinks that is, it's so many more tools. It's people's voices, it's written words, it's recordings, it's audio, it's lived experiences. Like, there's so many pieces of it. And for games, like, you have so much to distill into the exchange to another human being, and that's all that any media is. Any media is just one human being trying to communicate and get what they want across to another human being. There's no media that's not about humans, that's not about like people trying to connect with one another. We don't like, nobody's like, hey, I really hope that I can, okay, maybe Maria has a lot of these. She has a lot of media forums where she communicates with animals.
I do.
But by and large, for the most part, yeah. I mean, and Stray is of course the one exception of like, like here's a game where you're trying to like see if your cat's going to smack the screen. But by and large, it's all media is.
I just kept hitting the meow button trying to get my dog to like arf.
Yeah. 100%. I feel that totally. But yeah, and so in a pure and simple, basic sense, like trailers are just me trying to get a game into its pure emotional connection to another human being. Like that's what I want to get across. Like and so if it's not your game, I don't care. Like if it's not a game that you're going to like I don't want to talk to you about it. But if I can communicate that this is a game that has anything that you're going to like in it, I want you to feel it, and that's what matters. Yeah, it's that emotional connection.
I can absolutely understand it. I do a similar thing for doing artwork for indie games. I do some stuff for that, and it's just that people come to me and go, "What about this game?" And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy that game, so I can't put myself into that and then relay what I'm doing. If it's really violent, I'll do it. But so it's the similar kind of thing. Like I want to represent your game, and I want to get the message of what your game is out to other people, and I want to seem like I enjoyed creating it, so you're going to enjoy creating it. So I feel you on that level. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I was just thinking about too, where like the feel of a game trailer means so much to me as a gamer. When I'm looking at games and I'm considering whether or not I want to buy them, the first thing I do obviously is see if there's a trailer. If there is a trailer, I'm going to watch it. And very quickly I can be like, wow, this is a good trailer, or wow, this is a bad trailer. Even if the game still looks interesting, which is weird. I actually just had it where I watched the trailer for Star Ocean that's coming out. It looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful, but the trailer was so terribly edited. I'm like, this is not doing this game any favors.
And theatrical trailers are just like, show me the game. I want to see the game.
Yeah. That's the hard thing. Like there is a right place and a time for cinematic and animated trailers, but if it doesn't actually work in service to the content of a game, like there was a really good live action trailer for Dishonored 2, where they're just literally recreating the powers of, like, you see the domino effect being placed, and then like the crunching of the ability like suddenly coming to fruition, and everything just like when it's based on the actual experience and you're seeing it from an external perspective, that makes sense. Like
very satisfying.
And you'll notice that like Call of Duty and Destiny and games like that, like so few of those games actually have gameplay in them, because there's a good and bad to it. But the reason why they don't is because you as a viewer can't see so well through a person's eyes what the player is doing. And so they actually, like, Destiny is emphatic on this, is that anytime that you see one of the, I forget what the Destiny characters are called, but
the Guardians.
The Guardians, right? If you see one of the Guardians, you're seeing all of what you're seeing of gameplay is like third person.
Yeah, it's like a disjointed camera that's pulled back and looking at the action.
Yeah, just because you need to be able to see what the players look like they're doing versus what you yourself are actually experiencing.
You did say that you do play the game in order to determine whether or not you make the trailer.
That's always the very, very first step, is just let me play the game, and then I'll get back to you and whether or not we're going to continue the conversation. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So how does that lead into your planning and building of the game trailer? Like, how do you do that afterwards?
Yeah. So so it depends entirely upon the nature of the experience and what so after I play through, then I feel like I have the game in my bones, and like I know at least on a like fundamental level like what it is, and I'll have, if it's a really, really long RPG, like I'll ask them just spoil the whole story for me so I know like where everything is going to be going, because RPGs are one of the hardest kinds of trailers to make, because it's well, you want to show that there's combat, you want to show that there's a story, and you want to show that there's dialogue, and you want to show that there's an inventory system, and maybe you don't want to show any of those things, and maybe you just want to do this. It's the second question that I always have is, what is the occasion of the trailer? Like, are we like announcing? Are we launching? Are we just showing the release date? Are we is it an extensive gameplay trailer or is it a story trailer where we're just like giving you an overview of the overall experience? The occasion matters more than you would think, and you always want to, like, the thing that makes great art is if no one else can ever do it again.
Yes.
Like if it's such a specifically tightly crafted thing that if someone else were to take it and try to do it again, it would be either a clear copycat or it would be like, like you'd have to, you literally couldn't put it back together. And so that's why I think about the exact precision of the occasion says like that funnels why we're saying this the exact way that we're saying it. So I see Curse of Monkey Island behind Maria, so I'll use that as an example. We had we're currently we recently released the trailer for Return to Monkey Island, in which in which you are our first question was, how do we make people not hate the art style?
Like you knew going into it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because I mean, like the first thing with any legacy game of any form is you have to think about what are fans gonna do.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that I've learned about trailers, it's that like especially with indie games, like the greatest joy is when no one knows what your indie game is, and then they see your trailer and they're like, oh, I want to play that. Like that's great. The problem is when you make a game that like you make a trailer for a game after it completely blows up. Like the first trailer I did for Slay the Spire was like, great, I understand how to play the game now. And then the second trailer that I made for Slay the Spire was like, we had like 1 million fans, and everyone was like, oh, that doesn't explain the game at all. That's a piece of shit trailer, like. It's like I play the game so much slower and more methodical than that, like that was like, and duh, of course you do, because that's like the pursuit of the game is meant to like take time, and someone's like, I can't believe that the player would ever take this card and play it against that one, like you have all those like extremely precise opinions, which I totally get.
Yeah.
And so with the Monkey Island trailers that we've done so far, the main thing that we just wanted to get across is like, all right, let's ease you back into being Guybrush Threepwood again, and let you like have a moment to like process the concept of like, I might need to take my time to prepare my expectations for that. And so that's why like that trailer, like we had like over that first 30 seconds of lead up before you see any kind of gameplay, because you just need to like prepare people.
And it's with the Monkey Island trailer, the teaser one that came out, like obviously I was a big fan. I lost my fucking mind when I saw that trailer. but the thing was, because I'm a huge fan of the games, I've been a fan of the game since I was a kid, but it's just the teaser trailer was done, it was done so well that it just tingled every part of my nostalgia as soon as I saw it, because it had the Murray in it and just the music in it. And so it was just, I watched it, and I think it was you, Josh, that actually said it to me. You were like, oh, have you seen this, Maria? And I was like, oh. And as soon as I started it, and it was the and I was like, is this real? So it was just enough of that where it instantly just tickled the nostalgia of me. So that's a sign of a good trailer. And then when I saw the new one and it has the gameplay and the parts and going back and forwards, it did make me feel like this is the game's coming back. I will agree, I'm not a fan of the art style, but fuck it, it's Monkey Island. So good job.
It just takes time to warm up to, and that's the thing with any kind of experience.
I could say the same thing for Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh yeah,
the first time I saw the art style for that game, I was like, ugh. But then like when I started playing, I'm like, this game is gorgeous. I love it, and like I wish they would keep making games in that art style.
Oh yeah, and you just want to exist in that space. Yeah, it's incredible. And so for that exact example, like when you hand a trailer off to people, it really matters what they think they're going to be getting out of it. And that's that juggling act of expectations and anticipation. It's so much harder when you have something that people already love. And that's why I had the secret weapon that we have had on, and with all Devolver trailers really, is that we have a Nigel Lowry. And a Nigel Lowry is when I first started working with Nigel, he would sign off as literally Devolver Digital. And I was like, wait, this guy Devolver so many people, like why is he saying that he's Devolver? But like in actual like sincerity, and like he's the like world's most humble, Like you would never actually know this if you spent time talking to him in person and like actually talk to him. But he is essentially Devolver Digital. Like he's a lot of pretty much the main reason why the company is the way that it is. And he makes all he's the one who leads the marketing department. He's our marketing lead. And so many of the calls and decisions are his. And the reason why the Monkey Island trailer was the most amazing trailer that we've ever done was because it's his favorite game ever. And so many like Monkey Island was and is his absolute like favorite game of all time. And he just has a precision and a love for those details. So as he and I work together, we work together on all of our trailers. But when he makes a decision, like every other time, like I've worked with so many other people, and whenever they would say like, this is what we should do over here, and this is what we should do over here, I'd almost always have some like immediate pushback. And with him, like I've had to actually like try to find areas to try to push back so he knows that I'm not just like caving to his every demand, because he has some really amazingly good details. So like the decision to have Murray in there, and the decision to have like the monkey, the music, and the at the very beginning, like, and like those were all his decisions. And like so he knew to make those things, put those things in there, and I was just the guy who like cut it into place. So that's one of the reasons why I say that like I'm the editor, I'm the one who like crafts the trailer, I'm not the one who makes all the decisions as much. Because it's a team collaboration, and that also comes to the game, and you know, working with the studio and working with the animators. And the animator on that was funny. Last night I booted up Knights and Bikes to play with my 6-year-old, and and we're like starting up the game, and we're seeing the opening credits, and it says Rex Crowley, and I'm like, I'm working with him. And, so cool. And I didn't realize that he worked on Knights and Bikes as well, but he was the art director of that. And he's the art director on Return to Monkey Island, and then he did the animation scene that you see in the beginning in the Monkey Island Return to Monkey Island teaser.
Nice. Like,
yeah.
So how long does it typically take you to make a trailer from start to finish? Because obviously games are coming out, and you have to be like, I have to get it out for this time.
Yeah. That's one of the other advantages that I have with working with with the rest of our Devolver team, is that like the plan, there's always anticipation as far out as possible, and like push things out like to have a lot of time and plan for the occasions that we're going to need the trailers for. And a lot of the time indie game developers come to me and they're like, hey, we need a trailer in the next week and two. Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you? And it's like, no, I can't. And there's been many times that I just had to flat out say no, because I don't have the time to. I mean, like there have been times that I've said yes because I'm like, I really want to work on the game, and I'm like, yes, it's a ninja game. Fuck yes, I'm going to do it. But yeah, for the most part, it's like give me some time to actually like let the concepts come together, because like a trailer can, like my first draft of a trailer I can put together in like a day.
Yeah.
But like the actual like finesse and like precision and like the titles and the animation and whatever else we're gonna do, it takes weeks and the back and forth, and that's the main thing that I anticipate with that month, is that it's not that it's going to take me a literal month to do all of the actual physical work. It's going to take that much time for the back and forth of conversation and the development of the ideas, and for us all to have the best experience possible. And it depends on so many factors. Like if it's a ninja game, just you know, like I said, just give it to me. But if it's a game where it's like I'm still really bad at Risk of Rain 2. But I was, when I got to do the announcement trailer for that, but like, first of all, the fact that the game was really honking good when they were just doing the announcement was insane. Like that game was like amazing 2 years before it hit early access. Like it was very good. But yeah, I was like, all right, you guys know how to play this game well. I do not. You just go do like some really good runs, and I'll clip the parts I like. And that's kind of like what I ended up doing. And like even for that first announcement, it was only like a 30-second announcement trailer. I must have had like 6 to 9 hours worth of footage. And I was just like, all right, it was probably even more than that, but it was just like, I'm going over every single moment and just like am I going to be able to use this? And just like, then what I try to do is I try to like kung fu it together. I'll try like the thing that I learned with working with those guys is the with Hapu Games is that if you craft your action in the exact right fashion, it'll feel to the viewer like if I'm like if Ryu's trying to do the Hadouken, like you should feel like you're actually like leading up to that and executing the move, even if you're going to use 5 different shots for it. So it's a lot of like match cutting and a lot of like kinetic lining up until like the action feels and flows from one shot to the next. Because if your eyes are over here in this spot in the shot, that's where they should start in the next shot. So if the player character is running up here like this, and the next shot you have the character going over here, it should start right here. And finding that exact moment to link all the actions together is what makes a good action game trailer.
Nice. That's really interesting. Yeah.
I was gonna say, kind of, you dipped on one of our other questions too about like if the studios provide you additional assets, and you just said like they gave you the 6 to 9 hours of footage, so you didn't have to record it yourself. Right. Is there other like, is that a common thing, or is it more in that unique situation?
Usually, yeah. So like this is sort of the fun credits to come back to the Return to Monkey Island. So behind the scenes, you would have assumed like Ron Gilbert has a whole studio called Terrible Toy Box. He's going to have that guy in Department B. He's going to capture the game for us, and then I'll get the footage back, a day or two later. And no, that's not what happened at all. In Monkey Island's case, it's like Ron's like, hold on, I'll get back to you in just a second. Can you give me a shared file link? And he just like records the file himself and then drops it into a shared box. And I'm like, Ron Gilbert just dumped files onto my computer.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I would lose my mind. Yeah. Ron Gilbert liked one of my drawings on Twitter, and I almost freaked out.
Yeah, every time. Yeah, that's pretty much every time I feel that when I get to work with one of these game designers and we're making things that we're both proud of and excited to share with people. That's the joy is being able to create things together and see what we create as getting people really excited or really pissed off.
I mean, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So in the is Olija? Is it
Olija?
Olija.
Yeah.
There's some interesting dialogue that goes along with the trailer. Was that in the game, or did you repurpose it?
So with Olija, I'm pretty sure you're talking about the story trailer for that with the lady doing the voiceover. That one, I'm really actually proud of the voice acting on that one because we found a talent agency and we're like, all right, first and foremost, this actual place where Olija takes place is off the coast of Japan. It's near somewhere between Japan and Korea. But yeah, so like I'm like I have this very, very specific accent that I would love, where you can't quite place whether it's Southeast Asian or Northeast Asian, or like you can't like place where the actual voice actress is. And that was entirely intentional, and that we had an amazing actress for that, because that's where the game takes place, on some fictitious Japanese or not Japanese, but off of Japan,
kind of South Pacific Asian island of some sort.
Yeah, some kind of nondescript Asian island, and that's what we got. And we just wanted to have that like extra added degree of someone who kind of just mixed their influences and actually grew up in a variety of those places. You can't quite tell where they're from, and that was sorry, I need to stop gushing about the voice actress that I can't remember her name, but yeah, that was the precision of setting all that up. And I'm pretty sure, because I played through that game like 2 or 3 times while we were working on the trailer for it. Because I just loved, like, I played Olija in 2018 at PAX, and that was when it was still with a previous label, and then I saw it a few months later at PAX I was at PAX West, and I saw it at PAX East, and I got to play it again, and it was like, why this game looks so fat and chunky? Like why does it feel so good? And then when I saw that Devolver picked it up, and that was like one of the first projects that I worked on when I joined the team, I was like,
It's exciting.
all right, guys, this is exciting.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But yeah, so the story for that, I think I actually wrote that. Like I took like actual like the whole core script of the game, and I was like, all right, like this is how things are written, and I'm going to we essentially created this fictitious character that doesn't actually exist in the game, and we said like here's a bunch of lines that sound like something that someone's going to say in the game, and just like structure it out to explain the core story, because I had already kind of edited the trailer by this point. Like I already like put all the story bits together, and I was like very excited about the story. But then it was rightfully Nigel was like, yeah, this I don't think that people are going to understand the story from this. And so we're like, all right, we need to get a voice actress to like explain what all this is. And so I kind of like wrote it, gave it off to the voice actor, and or gave it to the talent agency, who's like, yeah, we'll try to find someone for you. And then like the next day they got back to me with like an actual recording. I was like, what?
Where he found a cursed harpoon of legend.
Yeah, it just like literally all came together like right before launch.
It's crazy how deep and involved that goes, because like I was watching that trailer and all I could think was like, I wonder if this dialogue is actually in the game somewhere, or if it was purpose built for the trailer. But holy crap, that's such a deep dive, like of how much you did to make this come alive for just the trailer. It's not even a part of the game itself.
Yeah, and that also is a testimony to like the fun that I had with that game too. Like it's one of our lesser known titles with Devolver, but it's like there's something about it that I just deeply admired about it. It's like, you know, like almost offhanded storytelling, not offhanded, what's the right word, hands off storytelling. That's a better way of putting it. And that kind of like let you infer a lot of like implied meaning to things. And that's what I love is I love it when like storytellers trust you with things. And that's why I thought that I'd be able to just use the nonverbal storytelling, be like, it's a story trailer, guys. I don't know if you can understand it, but I'm expecting you to. And then we were like, all right, well, we need to explain what you're seeing here, but we don't want to like tell you what's happening here. We want to like have one give you the emotional sense of what you're experiencing in fiction. And that's very important to me, because I'm going to dunk on Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar Games here, but nobody watches one of their gameplay trailers and is like, I feel like I'm in the world.
No.
Because all their gameplay trailers are like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a cowboy game where you play as Arthur. You know, like it's like that. I don't need someone to explain this to me. I would much rather like like take Sadie. Sadie is like my favorite character from Red Dead Redemption 2. So like have her explain what the hell is going on in fiction, like she's talking to someone that she's meeting like outside a saloon. Like that would be great. Everyone would like that. But I don't know why they didn't do that. There's some sort of
I think Rockstar are just kind of like, you guys know what this game is. We don't need to explain it to you.
Yeah. We don't need to put any effort into this. Yeah. I mean,
it's Grand Theft Auto.
And that's true. Yeah. Like if you are a Rockstar, if you are Nintendo or Niantic making a Pokemon game, like you don't really have to do a lot of effort, as they have in the past. But yeah, with indie games, it's always special. The reason why I love making trailers for indie games, among many, is that you often have no idea what the fuck this is, and you're like, wait, why is this happening over here? Like with the one trailer that I made that I'd say was probably like my breakout success of the first trailer that I made that I'm like, I still have in my portfolio, is for that Dragon Cancer. And most importantly, with a game like that, you have that question of, wait, why are you making this as a video game? Because I don't want to like if everyone who hears about this video game is like, okay, it's about a kid who has terminal cancer. Wait, why should we play this? And so for me, the joy of that trailer was, all right, two things I want to do. I want to show you what it's like to actually play this game, to actually have your hands on it. But I want you to walk away feeling like it is a celebration of the things that Joel loves, the things that he loved as he lived as a real person. Yeah. So in that Dragon Cancer, the main focus of the game is this boy who has terminal cancer and the relationship with his family. In any case, like, yeah, that's the thing that I think about in every game the thing that I think about in every game trailer is what captures the thing that you love most about it. Like what and that's always my first question to actual game developers, is the real core that I always think about is like what do you love the most about your game? What do you right now? Like, don't overthink it, but like, what do you love about this game right now? And I've never been disappointed with the answer.
One last thing before we close out with you, sir, today is, what is the game you would recommend for me?
For you, oh, that would be The Upturned. This is a game. Yeah, I posted a little bit of it in our Gamebo group.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, so like I use the super cheap. Like, this is actually something that you learn is actually a bad thing in games journalism, is to compare games to two other games. And you're like, it's like this and it's like that. It's like Resident Evil and Gang Beasts. You mash them up together and like, what the hell is this? And that's what The Upturned is. It's a really terrible description of it, but like it's like a
amazing.
lo-fi.
I did look into the game after I saw your posting about it. I did watch some trailers.
Yeah, well, the trailers are a little bit of a mess. Like, they were clearly designed by the designer of the game, and they don't know, they're not able to, because comedy, anybody who's done any level of comedy in any kind of media form knows it's entirely about setup. It's hook, setup, and landing. Like, if you don't set up that structure just right, like the comedy, the joke doesn't land. And so the trailer does not capture the comedy of the game, but the game itself. It's like, all right, so you show up at this hotel and there's this guy at the front desk and he's like, hey, so you got to go to your room. It's just like 1439. I know it's a long elevator ride, but go on up. You're gonna be fine. And then like you get on the elevator, and then all of a sudden the elevator like flips upside down, and like you're like falling backwards, and you're like, what? Why is this not working? He's like, oh yeah, sorry, it's not working right. But if you could just go find a power plug, and maybe we'll be able to get you to your room. And this like structure is used to take you through this comedic odyssey of trying to go through this elevator to your room in what's probably hell.
Sounds great.
And yeah, like the Gang Beast metaphor is like in Gang Beast thing is like you have the doughy, like,
yeah, we play a lot of Gang Beasts.
Yeah, it's slow, it's doughy, but this is like really, really fast. So like you're in a scenario where an enemy is coming at you, and how are you going to fight back? You're going to do a Jackie Chan. You're going to pick up the nearest thing to you, and you're going to throw it at them. Like that's like the first step. I'm not to say that that's the first thing that Jackie Chan would do. He'd probably find some more creative way of using the random thing he finds. But you are picking up these random objects and throwing it at the enemies that are coming at you as an act of desperation that somehow surprisingly works amazingly well at recreating the lack of ammunition that you have in like a Resident Evil game, where you're like, I only have so many bullets, but this is like, I only have so many chairs.
Awesome.
That's creative.
Yeah, I've looked at it, and I'm very curious to check it out, because like I do love my survival horror games, and I love Resident Evil, so like a comedy spin on the genre sounds like it'd be a damn good time.
Yeah, and so because you asked for a recommendation, Maria gets one too. Yeah. Maria, your recommendation, because I know how much you love violence, is DAP. Which is also a very obscure indie game. It's also survival horror, because I love my violent survival horror. But this one is a psychedelic survival horror game in which you play as a nondescript humanoid entity who just so happens to get a following of other similar nondescript entities who follow him around Pikmin style. And it is sort of like a Pikmin version of a survival horror game, only where every violent encounter is started and over in the course of like 1 to 2 seconds. Because it's so high risk and so high reward, that you're constantly like, all right, how do I get all of my enemies or all of my allies to be like charging up an attack just in case something comes at me? Because yeah, it's started and over very, very quickly.
I'll play it. I'll review it.
I can't promise you're going to like it all around, but you are going to have a very, very good, scary, violent time.
Bring it on.
All right. Thank you so much, Joshua, for sharing all that wonderful insight and background and things I never even thought would come out of this conversation, because damn, that was good. Thank you so much. Yeah, that'll do it for us today. Any final words, hey guys?
No, this was great. Thank you.
Haiku the robot. Final word.
Haiku the robot.
Haiku the robot.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, thank you guys.